So here we go. So Matt.
Hello.
So why don't you introduce yourself and all about your journey for spirit and how we connected, and we're going to go into raw information about you and how your journey has I think you've changed a lot.
I have, yeah.
Because I think at first you were kind of, I don't know how to say the word, fearful of being in it. And then you grew, expanded, and then you got confident.
Yeah, I've had a lot of different things happen to me on my journey. Well, how would I start? I want to say that it all kind of started around 2012 when I was kind of questioning the beliefs I had back then. And then I guess you can flash forward to 2015. And that's kind of like after my grandfather died, that's kind of when my beliefs really like got questions.
Right.
Like, the path I was following, it just didn't feel right to me. It felt foreign, alien, you know?
Right.
And then I checked out a book a long time ago about the different like pagan religions and stuff, like a diversity book. And then at first Wicca like felt right for me, but then like later on down the line, I changed out of that. It didn't really feel right to me because like, you know, like Wicca is just more or less a hodgepodge of different.
Right, and it seems like everybody's confused by it too, I think, don't you think?
Yeah.
Because they don't know which way to go, and then they're like, oh, maybe this will work, and then maybe it doesn't. So
right.
I think people get confused with it, and then they go down a different path with it, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it all depends on the person too.
Right.
It might work for some people, might not, but I'm not saying it's not working for people, but for me it didn't feel right.
Right.
And then I can't remember what year I met you in. It was...
Yeah, I think it was 15?
15, 16, somewhere around
yeah,
there.
Somewhere there.
It was an expo, wasn't it?
It was at an expo, and I think I was doing the gallery too.
It was, yeah, I remember that. And I think I was the first person you picked in that gallery.
Oh, yeah, can you remember I can't even remember the reading. It was
I was the first person you picked, and then, who was it that you contacted for me? Oh, it was my spirit guide. That's who it was. Yeah. And you're like, okay, you want to go with that route. That was funny. And then, yeah, that's like kind of like where we met. And then, what was that, another expo, right? That we contacted?
Yeah, I think so. And at that, I think and I saw you at that time when you were wearing your cape.
Mm-hmm.
When you came in. So that was at a point that you were starting to feel proud about your spiritual journey, I think.
Yeah, that's where it was. And then what year did I do the shamanism training? I did core shamanism training, I can't remember, it was a couple years ago. And that felt like right to me, and it kind of really opened up my spirituality more. Like more of my abilities were starting to come in, and I was being able to like use my intuition a lot more, because now it's like I see something coming before it is there, and sure enough it's like it's exactly how I described it.
Right.
Like just today I was thinking about my mom, and then all of a sudden she appears in the shop, and then I was thinking about my friend, and then all of a sudden he pops in.
And you're like, whoa, this is getting good.
Yeah, because like now it's like more stronger now. And then, what year was it? Then like the whole Wicca for me, kind of like, I was kind of questioning it, and then I started calling myself an eclectic pagan, because like I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then, what was it? 2018 is when I kind of started doing my small business and started doing readings for people, tarot card readings, and then starting to sell my own essential oils and metaphysical stuff. And it's been quite a journey for that. I'm still glad I still have the shop. Now it's an actual shop, because like that's what I wanted to do. And Mom's like, I don't think you're going to do it as a shop. And then sure enough, it ends up
as a shop, right?
Yeah,
and that was good.
And then I've been doing expos since a couple of years ago now. My first one was Detroit Lakes, and it was after you did a humble healing session on me and got me opened up for the energy healings.
Right.
Because
exactly.
like I didn't know that I was a healer at first, and then you told me that I was, and then it's like, what am I supposed to do? How am I supposed to heal people? And then you brought me up through the humble healing thing, and that's how I kind of figured out how to do it. It just flowed.
I think it was always a natural way that you had. You know, you had a natural flow with things. It wasn't, I think it wasn't a hard thing at all. It was just something natural that flew through you. Some things are just born in us. Just like we were just talking about how, you know, I think 2 years ago you were kind of more codependent on the cards, and then now, you know, I'm seeing that you're just flowing with it, and they're good for, you know, starting, but then you advance, and then you have confidence and you grow from that.
Yeah, because like now when I do readings for people, it's just like I really don't worry about it getting wrong, because it's like they might not understand what I'm saying at first, but then it's like later on, then it's like, oh, that's what he meant. And it's like, that happens.
And that's the thing, is when you're doing the reading, sometimes they don't know all the information. I think people expect them to please them, but the thing is about getting the right information and then keeping to what Spirit is telling you. It's like, nope, I'm going to go back to exactly what Spirit is saying and stay on top of that.
Right.
You know, and sometimes it's puts you have to learn to be uncomfortable sometimes. And they're looking at you like, no. And then you have to go, I am not changing my information because they are saying the exact same thing. But eventually they transfer over to like, okay, you were correct on that. And it's just because they don't know at the time, you know, what they need to hear from the Spirit, because they kind of have the podium.
Right.
You know, and they say it the way they want to say it. And they get annoyed with the humans.
Yeah, they do.
So let's talk about your little bit of the astrology stuff, because I think that is one of your natural gifts, I think, the astrology side of you.
Well, I've studied astrology. I'm not gonna say I'm a master at it, because like I'm still learning more about it, but I've been kind of like recognizing patterns more with like star placements and planetary positions and stuff like that, where like if you have a Pluto Sun, anything related to like either squaring or conjunct, squaring or opposition with that usually means like something is like symbolically dying or being reborn. Because there's been sometimes people have when they die, they'll either have like a Pluto Sun opposition or conjunct or square, and that's usually when sometimes deaths happen, but that's not always the case though.
Right.
And then like the placement of Pluto in certain houses usually means like, okay, what is something in this particular house that we need to let go, or like we need to have reborn and stuff like that. Right.
So I think, especially right now, we're talking about everything that's on Earth, but and then I think looking outside our atmosphere now has got to be mysterious and definitely changing. I mean, what do you see on the outside of Earth that you see changing?
What do I see on the outside of Earth? It's kind of difficult to.
With the stars, and I mean.
The stars. They to me they just look different now. It's like I thought they were like fixed in their location, and the Earth moved, but to me now it looks like they're actually like moving in the sky, almost like those old like. How would I describe it? Like how they have the globe and then like there's a star field on the outside and like you can move that. Yeah, It kind of looks like that to me now.
Right. And so where are you advancing to now, you think? where you're growing towards, or what do you feel that's how it's changing for you, where you're establishing yourself in that direction?
I guess what's happening to me now is a lot of stuff that I used to thought was true because everybody told us that it was true. It's like now I question everything. It's like I question everything I was taught in school, everything I was taught about life. It's just like everything now. It's like, why is it this way now? It's like,
right.
Like why is like everybody thinks it's this, but in reality it's this, and it's like, why are they like literally showing us what it really is in front of us, but at the same time it's like, no, that's not why we
massive
need that.
Confusion on purpose. Yeah, you've seen a lot of that massive confusion, and so it's part of their dialogue. You know, so I'm seeing that too. And so now you said you're advancing into some other things. We're going to talk about those.
Yeah, I as I was saying, like about the whole being eclectic pagan and stuff like that, I had a friend of mine that I met through one of the expos. He's what is that religion called again? It's called Asatru, but a lot of people call it Norse paganism or heathenry.
Right.
It's my ancestral folk religion, because I'm mostly Norwegian and Scandinavian.
Right.
So I did a full moon ritual with him for the Norse god Mani. And after that, I felt like everything he was talking about that, like, see, this is like, I told you how this ritual worked, and I showed you how it worked, and you actually witnessed everything how I told you it would work.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, I'm not doubting you, you know? And he's like, I honestly think that you would do really well and grow more if you embraced this path. Because it's part of your like ancestry, and I feel like you'd really thrive with that.
So what's the title of that? What would that be in that category that they put you in?
I guess there's like 3 different types of labels you can label yourself. Well, actually there's more than that. You could either be called Asatru, or Norse pagan, or Norse heathen, or even an Odinist.
Yeah, and I think the word paganism because I do have a lot of friends that are, and the thing is, I think they get confused by the wording. You know, I think, of course, in the 3D it goes to the negative, you know, and so what I've noticed is, in everything there's good and bad energy, and you know, when you understand the laws and that stuff, and you're doing a positive impact toward things, and the light towards that direction, you know, it can impact in a good way. And I think a lot of some things that you do is almost close to the native stuff too, you know, of how you see things and what you sell and all that stuff is more of getting close to that, you know. And so, and I use a lot of native situations, native vibration, you know, native music, you know. So, you know, I think you kind of, a spiritual person, have to find what applies to you, especially now that religion is kind of completely gone out the end of everything. And on every basis of our earth, we're realizing that every part of religion has been totally tainted, and now we have to start all over and piece it back together, what is actually accurate and what has been tainted. In a way, they try to confuse you because they want you to empower what was in the center of us, and that's where that spirit and connection is, you know. And I think once people understand that, it's like your own language, what works for you spiritually and how it downloads and frequency. And I think that people are going to start to really open up and say, okay, this is the way I do it. This is the way it fits me, you know. And I think you've found that path of like, this is me. This person might be saying that's them, but I think you'll find your own way of how you're going to create it. Don't you think? I think your pattern in that, and you're a big stone person too, with understanding stones, and you've always been glued to those frequencies too.
Yeah. See,
lately, Spirit has, like, last night before I went to bed, I was using a singing bowl, and I'm noticing the frequencies that are changing and how that's affecting everything, and how they're wanting us to go up higher and higher and higher on frequencies to get to those higher tones and communication.
Yeah.
And when you do that, things seem more simpler. You know, it doesn't seem as hard. And see, and I've kind of, you know, everybody right now, they're all into alien, Galaxy Federation. You know, it's a species that's out there. There's all kinds of different categories of it, but it's not something I'm interested in. Right. Because I'm interested in development. And if that wants to come into your energy or my energy, it's like, okay, present yourself, but this is still my space, and I will conduct a way I need to translate information. You can learn from any type of frequency or energy, but you definitely have to remain in control of that space that you have. And so I think with you, I think we were just talking about how some ideas are, you know, they're just expecting you to do one thing one way. And I think that you're seeing, like, nope, I'm going to do it the way I feel I need to do it. Right? Yeah. Don't you think?
I do believe that, yeah.
Yeah. So I think last year, was it last year that you did some videos for a while on, was it Kate's?
I think
site
so, yeah.
For a while. And you tried that for a while, and I think that gave you some experience but I saw that people were really, you know, they really were interested about you because you're such a pure soul out there, just learning and developing. Right. Yeah. You know, and that's the thing that's changing. I think I've been telling you that you're going to the next step. I don't think you're going to end up working for anybody. I think you're just going to go, listen, I'm going to stay doing this, period.
Right, yeah.
And so some souls were just not meant to be confined and directed in a category, and that's just it. I'm going to stay right there. It's like, no, that's not going to work. Right. So because it's all about energy and frequency and how you create and develop into that situation, you know. So I just think that that's changing, you know. And I like to see you're advancing on your own and creating your own. What's so new that you're seeing that's new for you?
Well, for me, well, let's see, what was I? A lot of the stuff that more or less now seems new for me is it's just that, like, these different aspects of our reality. Like, at first I kept like having that mindset of like time being linear, when in reality it's all simultaneous, it's all happening at the same time. Right. And then like all these other different illusions that people have to, like authority and power. Right. It's like as soon as you're outside of a building that you have power in, it's like your authority and everything's gone. So it's like, why make a big deal about having authority when you're eventually going to lose it? It's an illusion. Right.
Yeah, it is. But it's a very human concept thing. It is, you know, it's that flesh walking syndrome of feeling like they need to be empowered in a certain way of things. So.
And I've also noticed that now my family's starting to realize that when they speak words into existence and stuff's starting to happen, like I've had situations like where my dad was talking about something and all of a sudden it happens. And
right. There's power behind it now.
Bad things happen, yeah.
Yeah, but mainly the negative energy is completely severed off this earth.
Right.
I mean, people don't realize that they're creating their own negativity now. It's not fed by anything. It's their own, and they don't realize that that kind of cycle is like, look in the mirror, because that's where it's coming from now.
Yeah, and I've also noticed more that a lot of these cycles that my relatives are in are ones that should be obvious to them, but it's not. And I'm starting to realize that I have cycles I'm stuck in, but I consciously am aware of them now, and I'm now starting to find ways to change those cycles so I don't have to repeat them anymore.
Mm-hmm. So, how are you interacting with nature? I think last time that we were together, we were talking about being outside more, paying attention to what's going on above. I mean, have you found anything new about that, or have you gone through any more experiences with that?
Well, for one, now it's like I want to be outside a lot more now.
Right.
It's like if I had the choice to do this every night I would have a little bonfire and just sit there, sit by the fire, and then watch the sky and see like anything different happening in the sky. It's just like, in that sense of like environment, I feel like my ancestors are not only with me, but like they're sitting right there telling me like their stories and stuff like that. It's just like I feel like I'm back in that point in time where they were doing the same thing. Right.
Are we replaying history? Some of the things we are. I mean, we're going down a road that's I'm gonna say, 3D scariness, but it's a road that has to be done. And some of us will come out of it creatively. Some of us will come out of it, may not come out of it,
Right, yeah.
And, I think nature's going to be good with it, and I think animals, and that's the thing that I've seen. It's just animals have been so calm and cool and collected. I mean, I'm going to start to get upset when I start to see them upset, and they haven't been that way. Not at all, just very calm for the situation. So instinctively knowing, this is all about creation and changing.
And I've had a lot of interesting like animal reactions too, like when we were doing something one day for a workout, then all of a sudden we saw like a hawk or an eagle like flying right over us, and it's like that was like a good sign for us. It's like that just showed us that we were on the right path, like what we're supposed to be doing and stuff like that. And then every now and then I would see 2 crows like flying near my area, and it's like, oh, that's awesome. Like I get a good feeling every time I see crows, even though some people are like, oh, crows, no.
I have a friend that was talking about the white crow and the dark crow. And they're instinctively do different situations, and so the light and dark balance of how things balance off. Yeah, those are very important in understanding too. And then I mean, I have tons of cows too, and I just can't say that how calm they've been.
Yeah.
It's just almost to they're like so chill. It's like, whoa, they're not even upset about hardly anything.
Right.
So I think, if you want to look at anything, you should be looking at nature going, it's really quiet, calm. And then of course it has its cleanse moments that I think we're going through and all that stuff, and then it seems to calm down, so.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good thing. Like this summer, it was kind of weird. It was so dry. I felt like I was in Arizona. And then all of a sudden now it's wet. And how seasons just flip over. So tell them about your store. Tell them.
Well, I run a metaphysical store called J Dragon Moon Metaphysical Store. That's what I call it. We're currently now in East Grand Forks on 1616 Central Avenue Northwest. It used to be a massage place. It's a small shop. It's not very big, but eventually it will get bigger because now that we have our signage up, I know for a fact that there's going to be people starting to come in, because like I've had people come in now. I've had repeat customers now.
Good.
And then I had people that come in there like, oh, is this the massage place? And like, no, they moved. And they're like, oh, what do you guys do? And I explained to them what we do. And then they're like, oh, that's neat. I might have to stop in and check it out again.
Right.
Yeah.
So what services are you offering, you know, because you do stuff online and then you do stuff, you know, I know you're doing expos. So
as of right now, I will do like, I still do my energy healings and I still do the Humboldt healing, but I haven't had anybody like do that lately. I've been more or less focusing on the storefront for a while until like it starts picking up where it's like, okay, I can balance both of them again.
Right.
And then I still do tarot card readings. I haven't had anybody come in for that. I've had a lot of people come in for like the detox with bath. More or less my uncle keeps coming in because like every time he
you're doing a detox bath now?
Yeah.
Aren't they great though?
They are. Yeah.
People love them now.
My uncle, it really benefits him because like he's a diabetic and all that. And
did
like,
you start that or did your mom start that?
I thought we bought, I remember we bought one after like Joy had hers.
Right.
And then like we were doing them at home more or less. And then we just like, why don't we offer them here, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and I have it too here and people like it. You know, and you kind of feel when your body's like, yep, time to do it, you know?
Yeah, I haven't had one for a while, and I definitely need to have one again.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, and then what are you doing online now? Like for yourself, for services over the phone and stuff?
I haven't really done anything online lately, but eventually, like when I start getting stuff all lined up for online stuff, I might do readings over the phone, or I might like, I don't know, answer general questions or stuff like that. Right. Not 100% sure yet.
Just exploring and getting you, because you've come a long way. I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
And I think it's all about the confidence and building it up. I mean, I think it was about a year and a half ago. I mean, when I'd say expos, you'd be like, I don't know.
Right.
You know, and now you seem to be confident with doing the expos now. I think so.
Yeah, because like lately now it's like every time I know we're doing expo, it's like, oh, I know we're going to definitely do well.
Right.
Just don't know how well. And then there's times where like, yeah, we didn't make a whole lot like we did one time, but it's like we still were successful. We still got there.
Right.
And that's all that matters to me, is that getting there and like exposing our name out there and stuff like that.
It's a good marketing tool and all that stuff. And unfortunately, I'm not doing any expos this year because I don't have the time.
I figured that.
I'm like, nope, can't. So I mean, and you know, I think the one that we did, you know, I think we'll create and come back is Paracon. I did like that one.
Yeah.
And that was a good one, but unfortunately on that one, it's 2 days of nonstop, and then maybe you'll be able to go to the bathroom and maybe don't, you know. So those takes a lot out of me to do that.
I bet, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I just I kind of wanted to know where you're at, and I thought, well, maybe YouTube needs to know about Matt because I think you have a cool story. You know? Yeah.
I want to also eventually like do stuff on YouTube too, like just do like a personal vlog about like what I'm doing and stuff like that. I kind of got a name for the channel. I just haven't really done anything yet. I haven't like made a logo or anything like that yet.
Well, why don't you tell them how they can contact you?
Well, if you guys have any questions or any like to say anything, you can either email me at jdragonmoon90@gmail.com. It's all lowercase letters. Or you can go to my Facebook page at jdragonmoon metaphysical and message me there, like PM me there. And I also have I still have my personal psychic page that I had from like the online Psychics Live. It's called Morgan Dragon Moon. And just look me up on Facebook there, and you can message me there too if you have any questions or anything like that. But either like emailing me or PMing me on Facebook is
that too with your supplies too.
Yeah,
I know the metaphysical supplies now. You can get that stuff for them too. I think so.
Yeah, sometimes it might take a while for me to get a product, but what I usually do is I usually get the product, and then like as soon as I get it, that's when I accept your money. I won't be like, here, pay me now and then I'll get your
Right.
product. I always like tell them,
Make
it's like,
sure
yeah,
you got
I'll
it.
get it for you, and then you just pay me then. That's
Right.
like the same thing like with when I make shirts too. It's like I'll cut it out for you on the vinyl cutter, and then I'll heat press it for you, and then I'll get it to you as soon as I can. Too.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So I just wanted people to meet you and introduce you because I think you're a very unique soul.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And I think you're on a good journey of discovering, and you're definitely a soul that can't be compromised. You know?
Well, I've had instances where I thought I was going to be broken, but I managed to overcome it.
Yeah, you did. You did really good, and created yourself. That was the good thing. And listen to spirits too, in a good way.
Right.
So if you guys want to contact Matt, he gave you the information, Matt Mesa. So, anything else you want to say?
I can't really think of anything.
So, well, at least my people have got to meet you and know that there are good people and good journeys going in your direction, and you're developing and growing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Good night.
Night.